it's me, Margaret, and I have a new setup. I can't stand not being able to see what I'm showing you. So I put my phone, which is talking to the GoPro, right down here. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone so I can see what I'm doing. All right, I have a bunch of tiny little pieces of paper all over here so that I can remember what to talk to you about. This happens to me during the week. I think, oh, that would be a great thing for me to talk about on the video, and then I completely forget. So what I've done is every time it occurs to me, I take a little piece of paper and I throw it in a project bag, an empty project bag. All right, so let's get to it. What have I been doing? Finished objects. Crochet. Isn't that cute? It's a monster bib. See? Now, this is a pattern by Repeat Crafter Me, and all of her patterns are free. At least I think they're all free. She has a blog. You can find them all on Ravelry as well, and then it just takes you to the blog for the pattern. And I did 2 of these. Ta-da! Now I have a few clips that I want to include about this. And I'm at the point now where I have to crochet all around the edges, single crochet all around the edges. And oftentimes this can be really confusing in crochet. Now this whole project is done in single crochet, so that means I should have 1 crochet in each side row. But the problem is finding those rows, exactly where you need to go in. And here's my little trick. That is to look carefully, no matter what stitch you're using. In this case, single crochet, like I said, put your little stitch marker on 1 row, and remember you're turning, so the second row looks slightly different. So put a little stitch marker at the end of that row. And that's as you're going along. So as soon as you finish the row, put the stitch marker. And that way you'll be able to recognize what it looks like. So for instance, I'm going to start up here, and I'll look over here and say, okay, a row facing this direction is going to look like this. And so I'll search out right there. You see how it swoops, and this swoops right under that pink marker. And then when I get to the next row where I had traveled the opposite direction, it looks like it has like a knot coming down. See under the white marker? That knot. It's different from the one that looks like a small swoop. So that would be right there. See how you just find the little holes. And then that will make sure that you do only 1 stitch per row, because that's all you want to do. And when you get down here and you're making a curve, you're going to want to do more than 1. You'll probably do 2, maybe 3 in that 1 stitch to make the curve so that the project will lie flat. So that's just my little hint that I'm going to use. I thought I could do this from memory in my first one, and it messed up. So I went back to my little trick so that I could do it correctly. Let me give it a try and let's see how the result comes out. So I finished. I was much more careful as to where I put my stitches this time, and it does lie flat. Now my work doesn't look nearly as neat as Sarah, Repeat Crafter Me. Her work is just perfect, but look how much better this one came out than when I tried to be lazy and do this from memory instead of looking at my stitch markers. Do you see how it's all wavy? You see how that's wavy? And this didn't even look right. I don't know. It's just not nearly as good. But this was so much better. Oops, edges and whatnot. I don't know why. This is supposed to go in here, but it doesn't look like it went in as much over here. This looks neater. So I don't know what I did differently on this side, but it'll never be noticed on a galloping horse, because when you put it around the child's neck, then it's going to be fine. You know what? I'm very concerned about these things. I followed the pattern, what I thought was exact, and there's not enough room to tie around the baby's neck. And look at hers. They're longer. So, is there a mistake in the pattern, or did I make a mistake twice? I don't think I did. I'm going to go back and check that. All right, just so you'll know, I did not. There are 40 rows in this pattern, and there are 40 rows that I completed. So I think there might be a mistake that we need to add some more here. So now I have to invent a way to increase this to repair it. Well, I'm glad to know I'm not going crazy. Of course, I should have checked Ravelry to begin with to see if there were any comments, but you can see that some other people had the exact same problem that I had. Well, this person doesn't even look like they came close to following the pattern, but look, that looks just like mine, but they added some ties, so I think I'll do that same thing. Yeah, okay. Hey, as it turns out, I'm really liking my little microphone here. You can't hear my air conditioning cutting on and off as normally you can. Or if you can hear it, it's very light. So I really like using my microphone and the GoPro. Oh, I noticed that Jana Smith also mentioned Repeat Crafter Me recently. If you're not watching Jana, I'll put a link to her her channel in the description box below, and watch her. She was one of the people who had dropped by for a visit on one of my videos and started her own channel afterwards. Okay, and while we're talking about podcasts, have you seen Crochet Junkie? I know that a lot of people started watching me because I did only crochet, and they were only crocheters, and now I've picked up knitting and I throw that in there as well. But for those of you who really want to focus on crochet, she does a lot more. Now she too has begun to learn to knit, but I just have discovered her. She hasn't been around that long. She's a new spinner, a new knitter, and all-around yarn crafter. So Crochet Junkie is hers. Just thought I'd throw that out there for anyone who may be interested. And another shout out that I want to do goes to Queen's Yarn Boutique. She's very talented, only crochet, she doesn't knit, and I was looking specifically for slouchy hats. I don't wear slouchy hats, and so I don't tend to gravitate towards those, but I needed a good slouchy hat for my charity work, because remember, when you're doing charity projects, you don't want to do things for you. You want to do a wide range of things that are going to appeal to just about everybody. That are going to appeal to somebody, I guess I should say. So I went and she had suggested one from Crochet Geek, but just look at some of her projects. They're really good, so you might really enjoy her podcast as well. And also, I had been showing a lot of knitted sock yarn hats, and my crocheters have been saying, oh, that's so nice, I wish I could knit though, I want to use that sock yarn. Well, I have a tutorial for a sock yarn hat crochet version that I have done, so I'll put the link to that in the description box below. Now, a knit stitch uses a little bit less yarn than a single crochet, but it's a single crochet is the most, it's as similar as you're going to get to the knit stitch in terms of how much yarn you use. And the deal is you don't want to use a whole lot of yarn in a stitch, otherwise it will make more pooling occur. And that's really not what you're going for with that look of the sock yarn hat. So if you don't like single crochet, then this is not going to be for you, because it's a lot of single crochet with a small needle. But I'll put the link to that in the description box below. And speaking of tutorials, probably, I can't remember the date, but I'm thinking it was like 2 years ago, I had put a tutorial up for how to make a snake scarf. And essentially it was just that. It looks like snake and it's a scarf. And I did mine on the AliExpress Professional, the little small Addy, but I give you dimensions and measurements so that you can adapt that to any yarn craft, whether it's knitting with needles, loom knitting, crochet, you're basically making a tube and gathering the two ends. And anyway, that blog post happens to get a whole lot of hits because it's easy and it's quick and it's fun. You know, it's a neat little fun thing. But I have to tell you that Angie Wade, another person that you need to watch, has taken that idea and she's upgraded it by using safety eyes like that. And I thought, oh my goodness, it brings, I was using buttons, and the safety eyes give it so much more personality. It's really, really cute. So I bought some safety eyes, and I am going to make some snake scarves and see if mine can have cute personalities like hers. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. So now I have a little sad news, and that is that I had a trip planned to go to Rhinebeck, which was this huge, or is this huge fiber festival that takes place in New York. And I can't now because it happens to be on the weekend of homecoming/parents weekend at Thomas's new school. And you can bet anytime parents are invited or anytime I can get there, I will be there at Thomas's school. So I was really sad not to be able to attend that event. So I guess I'll have to look forward to that for another time. Speaking of Thomas, he is doing really, really well. Some people are under the impression that he's like in the military, not exactly. The first 30 days is their training period. They're called a recruit on campus. And we can't talk to him on the telephone, which is really, really hard. So there's no FaceTiming or anything, but we can email, unlike it is when you go into the real military or whatever. So of course we're in contact too with the people that are over him, his TAC officers they're called, and whatnot. So we know what's going on. They post a lot of pictures, and while I haven't seen any of him horsing around with a bunch of boys where you can see a lot of fun going on, we have a lot of these official looking pictures of him standing at attention in his uniform. So we got a real newsy email from him last night, which was good. He thinks he made 100 on his honors geometry. He's the only 9th grader in honors geometry, by the way. And when we checked his grades last Thursday, he had all A's and 1 B, so he was doing really well. So he did mention that one of his leaders was in his geometry class and was so funny and all. So we're hearing positive, wonderful things, but I just can't wait to get my hands on him. So I'm surviving all of that. Oh, and by the way, when I was talking about empty nesting, every now and then somebody would say, you know, very supportive things, thank you, because they understand what it's like. But boredom and empty nesting, boredom's not my problem. I mean, I can think of a million things to do, and I'm already active in, you know, volunteer things. My Bible study starts up tomorrow, which is something I look forward to we take the summers off, so I look forward to that starting up. And so boredom is not the issue by any stretch of the imagination. It's just missing my kids. And to make matters worse, you know, Tyler's been living off for 3 years. He's graduated from college and has been on his own down in Florida. And then Maggie, of course, has been in college, and she's taking her first job in Dallas. But the thing is that we were all home together for 1 month. And while that was wonderful, I think it kind of made it harder because we all separated within a 2-week period. And so that's what's going on with me. It's not that I'm bored and can't find things to do, because that's not a problem. Okie dokie. Now I need to apologize to LukeKnitz because he sent me a pattern that he had designed. And I forgot to thank him for it last week when I was talking about patterns. It's called the Twistery hat pattern. And it's crochet. And well, the picture is little here, so well, here I can do like this. Okay, can you see the hat? It has these slanty things on it. So I started it with some of my sale yarn I got a long time ago. It's this Martha Stewart Crafts yarn. Love the color too, and this feels really good. I think it's a wool acrylic blend if I am not mistaken. 65% acrylic and 35% wool. It's really nice. I like it a lot. But what I was looking at it, and instead of making the 2 rows of the slants, I was just going to make a big wide brim with the 1 row of the slants around the bottom. But unfortunately, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not getting slants at all. So this is not uncommon. So there's plenty of times when I think I'm reading the pattern correctly and I don't get it right. So Luke, I am going to have to, I don't know how to describe to you what I'm doing wrong, because I really thought that I was doing the pattern. So I'm going to have to reach out and get some help on that. But it is a really cute pattern. I'll put the link in the description box below. For people more talented than I should be able to whip it out. But anyhow. Oh, and look. I'm using my cute little bag Christina Mills sent me. Critter Kid 12 on YouTube. And as far as what I've got going on right now, I showed you last week that I had started that Madeline Tosh scarf. It was a rectangular shawl, not a scarf. And I haven't gotten really that much farther on that. I've done like 2 or 3 more rows since then because I got sidetracked with this pattern. This is the Phoenix hat pattern that was gifted to me by Sarah S.E. Hepworth. It's a fundraiser pattern for a children's burn unit. And we need to do a drawing because I am planning to pay it forward by gifting, they're $2 a piece for these hats, and I'm going to gift 5 hats for this little fundraiser. And last week I had told you if you wanted to be considered to put your name in the comment section below. So I did that, and I will now announce. Let me go get my list. All right, and the winners are Deb Cannon, Nancy Marchevka, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that anywhere close, Connie Allman, and Susan Ernst. And I have one more that I did not pick randomly, and this was Crafty Cassie. And the reason why is because she has just gotten back from volunteering at one of these Phoenix burn unit children's camps. So this is something that's really close to her heart, and I wanted to gift that to her. Now what I ask of you, oh, and by the way, some of you had the forethought to put your Ravelry name in there so I could gift you the pattern through Ravelry, which would be great. If you don't have a Ravelry name, then contact me through the inbox in YouTube and we'll figure something out. I was hoping that maybe you could pay it forward and gift the pattern to someone else. And if you don't have anyone else in mind that you want to give it to, then contact me and I'll give you another one of the names off of the list of people who were interested in the said pattern. So let's just kind of keep it going because it's win-win for everybody. So thanks for that. Now another thank you goes out to Cody because he had, and if you ever watch Cody Knits, which is his podcast, Cody has gifted me a pattern that he designed, his very first one, and it's a cowl, and I adore cowls. I like to knit them, I like to wear them, so that's going to be on my to-do list too. I'm going to put a link to his pattern in the description box below, so you could go take a gander at that because it looks like it's fun, but it's easy. And when I say fun, I'm talking about the fact that sometimes it can get tedious just to be doing something that's really, really easy. So you need to throw in a few stitches that are challenging, maybe not challenging, but just something where you have to think, otherwise you could go sound asleep. And that's exactly what this Phoenix hat is, by the way. It's very simple. Each row is very simple, but doesn't that make a pretty little mock rib? mock cable. I just love it. Having a good time. And I'm using for this wool-like. Oh, there. I was holding it in front of the phone instead of holding it in front of the camera. I really like this stuff, by the way. Now, speaking of liking yarn, I fell in love with the Deborah Norville Serenity sock yarn, and I did get some more. It's Friday morning, and I'm on my way to Joann because this morning I noticed that Deborah Norville sock yarn that I recently made a hat with, and I really liked it, and I wanted to get my hands on some more of that, and I noticed that Joann had it on sale. And it's not really that expensive regular price, but I think it was $2.60 or something like that. That is a great price on sale, but I noticed online, and I did a Periscope of this just to share because it was timely, right? You might not watch this video for later, but Periscopers can see right then and there. I showed that online there's a 20% off everything coupon, even your sale items. Well, in my stack of mailed coupons that I keep in the kitchen, I noticed that I had a Joann coupon for 25% off all items, including sale items. So it can only be used in store. So I'm going to go and look and see if they have any, and if they do, I'll grab some. So let's see what we find out. Okay, looks like they have a little bit, but a lot of it's gone. So I'm going to buy art. That looks like it's not on sale for $3.99. But some of this was $1.97. I guess that's what happens is these don't appear to be marked down on clearance, and that's why they're left. Huh, okay. But then I saw this sign, and it said that all Deborah Norville yarn was on sale, so it really was. So here's what I got. Basically, it's just 3 different colors because there wasn't a whole lot there. This one's called, what? Violas. And Lavender Topaz. And then this rather busy one, which I assume, I hope, is going to be kind of Fair Isle-ish. It's called Chili. So those are the 3 colors. But I just took what they had. They only had 3 of these Lavender Topaz, but I did get 4 of the other ones. So just to see. I don't know. This is probably enough for a shawl here if I want to do that. But anyway, we'll see. Good haul. Here, I wanted to show you the receipt. Basically, you have, your sale prices that are marked. But down here, I bought some other things as well. But down here, 25% off of the mailer. Okay, that was my coupon, and it was 25% off everything. And it was $17.70. That's what I saved on those purchases. Now, after that, I had to go over by Petco to replenish our aquarium. And with what I bought, look at my final total, $17.49. So I actually got everything I needed at Petco for free because I thought to use a coupon. So see, coupons are great. Poor Catfish had been all alone, so we bought him some more neon tetras. And that's what I got with my savings with the coupon. Now, when I noticed that sale was going on, I thought to myself, oh, I need to tell people in a hurry. So I used Periscope for that. Now, I have been a Periscope member for quite some time now because I follow Disney people. So when they're in the parks, it's really neat to, say somebody's showing you a parade that's going on right that minute, or some wonderful food that they got or whatever. It's kind of a little bit of just being there, just a clip here and there. And I thought that's kind of fun, but I never knew what I would do with it, and I had no intention of broadcasting anything. So I've tried it twice last week. It is kind of fun in that you're people who happen to be available, because again, you're sort of intruding on people's lives. You just are broadcasting, and then you get this message, it just sends out a message that Margaret's broadcasting, and so if you wanted to see it, you have to stop what you're doing right then and there, and I feel really awkward about that, to tell you the truth. Now, it does stay recorded and stays on there for a little bit, but and you can go back and watch it, at your convenience. And that's what I've had to do several times, because I'm hearing it tweet. It goes doo-doo, tweet, tweet, like somebody's whistling at you. And I can hear it go off, and I am in the middle of doing something. My hands are either sopping wet, or the other day, Nate Sheep, who is somebody I've been friends with for quite some time, he did his first broadcast, and I saw his name come up, but I'm walking in the door from church, and the dog's barking and everything. It just was not the time to stop and look at it, so I missed it. I'm not quite sure how I feel about Periscope just yet, but I thought it came in handy for that purpose. I saw that there's a sale. As soon as I realized it, I got that information out as quickly as I could. If people signed on, and if they happened to be interested in that yarn thing, then they got a heads up. But I don't know, just not quite sure how I feel about Periscope just yet. Ravelry. I did start a Ravelry group. I have not invited anybody. Some people have just kind of found it. I don't know. I haven't really set it up exactly for any purpose. I've just put it up there. Still have to figure out how to use the different features, the moderators features, and all that kind of stuff. But if you'd like to join, jump on in, introduce yourself. I guess put it in the welcome section until we figure out a little bit more organized. I will work on that. Let's see. Basically, what I really wanted is more interaction. So then I start rambling on and on about what the Sheepishly Sharing group should be. A resource for sharing tips, assisting, educating, or maybe just for friendship built around a common interest. But isn't that what all the podcast Ravelry groups are? The problem is, in my mind, is that there's a million groups out there, that everybody has one for their podcast. So how would mine be any different? So that's what I'm trying to work out in my head, is anything that we could do together. I don't know. I don't know how to make it any different than what anybody else already has. And it may be that I might want to jump in and merge with someone else if they would want me. I don't know. But let's just kind of feel our way in the dark and see what we come up with this Ravelry group. I'm not signing any contracts, so I can delete it any time if we think it's stupid. And if it goes off, well, good for us. So anyway, you might want to look for that if you're interested. Now, this week, with no ifs, ands, or buts, I will be making it review week. And what I mean by that is I have 3 products that I have to review that have been sent to me that I want to share with you, and one of which is going to have a giveaway in it. So I have got to get that up this week. So be on the lookout for those. They're all, 2 of them are Knitter's Pride, and one is a yarn. So without question, I've got to get those up this week. So you want to be on the lookout for those. The holidays are coming, so you might want to be on the lookout, not just on my channel with my reviews, but just new and different things out there that you can make for someone else, for a recipient, or maybe gifts for a knitter, crocheter, or yarn lover person. So yarn loving person. So anyhow, yeah, be on the lookout for those from me, but be on the lookout for creative things to share with us too for our gift giving in the future. Okay, so that's all I've got this week. I will see you later in the week for those reviews, and then until next time, talk to you soon. Bye.